What's up, everybody? Y'all ready for a show? Oh, yeah. We got about 1 minute left. Mr. Jonathan Short is in the studios today. He's going to be singing his song and things. Okay, coughing fit. You guys ready to start the show? Here we go with the countdown from the clown. Oh yeah, everything's good. Splashing it up, and then comes the pain. Here it is. I pushed the right button. Hey guys. Sorry, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons or pushing them at the wrong time or whatever. Good morning, Mr. Jonathan Short.
Good morning.
Welcome into the show, my friend.
It's good to be back in the show.
Good to be. Where you been?
I've been everywhere, man.
No, you've not. You've not been here, so that's a lie right there.
Well, I'm here now.
That's a lie.
So now I've officially been everywhere.
We've missed you, and really we're all angry and hurt, and we're going to harbor feelings and bitterness and resentment. I'm just saying.
Well, I won't be here next week either, so you'll just have to.
Wow, it's going to get worse.
We got youth retreat.
You can come early in the week. You don't have to wait till Thursday or Friday.
I know, but it's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, but I'll be out of town Monday, Tuesday. So.
Well, see.
Привет, мой брат from Russia, or unless you're from somewhere else in that area. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome in. Give a few shouts out. Get in to watch this live. Hey, Lisa. Hey, who else has said hey? I'm trying to find there's some people here, but now everybody's shouting now. Hey, Patty. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Colby. What's up? There's Trish. Hey, Trish. Hey, Amanda. And I'm going to miss somebody doing this. I know I am. Hey, my wife says, nippy morning burst, 48 at my house today. We got up. Hey, Becky. I don't know if I've missed somebody. Probably. Let's see who's shouting over here. Anybody? Quit shouting. Hey, Pauline. Hey, hey, Carol. And I think that's everybody that's shouted. Got real loud. Are you ready to sing today?
I hope so.
You don't know if you are? I know that feeling.
I think I'm okay. This cold morning, man.
I know. Today's number 953 for all you that are keeping count. 953. We're going to make Jonathan wear this while he sings. Is that? Can you wear it? Is it wear it right there? No. Not. Paper cut on your chin. Okay. We're ready. You ready to sing?
I think so.
I think I got the pen on the right key. I need to turn it down.
Appears so.
It appears to be. Turn your mic down a little bit because you sing louder than you talk.
Same old voice, that same old lie. better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's the way maker. If you need freedom, saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. We've all searched for the light of day in the dead of night. We've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. We've all run to things we know that just ain't right. There's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, pain taker. Feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can't feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can't feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you got pain, he's the pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, saving, he's a prison shaking savior. Got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. Oh, if you got chains, he's a chain breaker.
Bravo, bravo. Oh, I love it so much. Love it so much. Thanks, Jonathan, for singing that. Let me get things back where they need to be in order. How's everybody doing today? I saw a couple comments. Somebody said, amen. And also somebody said it's 95 degrees in Vegas. I saw that pop up. It's like, well, that's why we're here. We're nice and cool. Good morning, Jonathan, from my Uncle Aaron. Good to see you again, he says. Hey, Pam says amen. And then what else? Who else is here? Who else? I saw some other comments in there. Everybody's clapping. And hey, Teddy Joe Bias, what are you doing, buddy boy? Hanging out with the great people. That's Nick's favorite, she said.
Cool.
Keep the 95 out west, please. I'm with you on that. I mean, 85 is also, 95 is like of the devil. So,
Yeah.
Watching, somebody said love, watching and love. Good morning, TJ, Paulette. How's everybody doing today? We're talking this week about maturity. Now, what we've done is a couple things. We've taken like natural things. Jonathan hadn't been here, but he's heard the message, I think, maybe. And we're taking, maybe not, it's on a Wednesday, so you're probably back in gravity, but we're taking natural things and making comparisons to spiritual things. But yesterday, we kind of broke it over into the spirit realm where we talked about how that people that are mature will get involved in ministry. Here's our passage for the week, and then we're going to let Jonathan talk for a bit. Hebrews 5:12. If you've been believers so long now that you ought to be teaching others. That's what we focused on yesterday. The idea that spiritual maturity leads to involvement in ministry in the church and all that kind of stuff. Instead, you need someone to teach you again the basic things about God's Word. You're like babies who need milk and cannot eat solid food. For someone who lives on milk is still an infant and doesn't know how to do what is right. So we know that it leads to living and doing. Last verse. Solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skill to recognize the difference between doing wrong. That's what it's about. So it all leads down to the doing. And Paul's comparisons for food, like you feed babies baby food and you feed adults adult food. So Jonathan, we come to you now for your great wisdom. Hey Josh, good morning, buddy. And good morning, Wayne Hager and Jonathan Short.
Good morning. Good
names.
morning.
So is it cold up there in Minnesota? It's freezing down here this morning. What do you say about spiritual maturity, about maturity in general? You recognize, when do you begin to feel like you're seeing maturity in somebody's life? What are some signs that you see?
I think just one off the top of my head as you were speaking that just kind of popped in my head was taking care of other believers, taking responsibility for other believers. I think if you think about siblings, let's say you have an older sibling, younger sibling, and the mom and dad are saying, okay, I'm going to leave, but you're old enough now that maybe they're 14, 15, 16 years old. While I'm gone for this amount of time,
you in charge.
You're responsible. You're going to take care of your younger brother and sister. And there comes a point in a person's life when they have to take on the maturity and take on the responsibility of taking care of somebody else's well-being.
That's awesome.
I think as it relates to a spiritual walk, I think that there ought to come a time in their life. It's not when somebody's been around for 60 or 70 years. Well, you're finally responsible enough. And I think sometimes in the church, people think, well, I'm not responsible. I'm not old enough. I'm not mature enough to be able to do that. But
it does seem that way in the church. Like we don't consider. We don't really. I don't know, Jonathan. Do we even have a conversation about maturity? I mean, I know people that have been in. And I'm not going to pick out names or any faces, but people that have been in church for 30 years don't do anything. They never take any responsibility for anybody. They never want to help or care or hold people accountable or counsel or pray and I'm thinking, are they not maturing? Are they just lazy? Sorry, you guys. What is that? What's the response there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that just maybe comes down to immaturity. Maybe
I guess maybe if you're mature, then you understand that you're lazy, and so you move away from laziness. Yeah. You become responsible. I mean, I guess that's what it is. It's like the 40-year-old living in his mom's basement still playing video games. Something's missing there.
Yeah,
he's not taking responsibility, and then taking responsibility is one thing. That's when you get your own job and pay for your own cell phone bill. But then when you take care of other people, when you become responsible, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, and I've actually had to get this. I've actually had people say to me, my children came to me and said, "Look, when you get old, don't expect us to take care of you. You're gone to a nursing home, and that's it."
Wow.
What kind of people do stuff like that? And then in the church, we're supposed to care for people. Now, what are some examples of how, like ways or places that would actually apply practically? Like you're a youth pastor, you've been doing it for years. You take responsibility. I remember back when somebody that was pretty close to you said they were sick and tired of taking care of other people's kids and being responsible and all that. What do you give me some examples of how that really looks practically?
Like immediately in youth ministry, I have an expectation of our junior and senior high students to begin to mentor in some way 12, 13, 14-year-old kids.
Wow.
And that mentorship may be nothing more than just they better be displaying a lifestyle of purity. They better be examples of how to worship and how to read the word and examples in conversation. But and it might be even in a worship atmosphere, or like it's their gifts, pertaining to their gifts, encouraging them to use their gifts for the Lord. That's one way that I think that they take responsibility for somebody that's younger. And the word tells us, to set an example to those, and so I think that's one way that mentorship, that responsibility.
Well, see right there,
place.
You brought in a word we haven't talked a lot about this week, and that is example. So maturity leads to you willingly being an example for other people.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, how many of you listening today, watching today, how many of you do that? You say, look, I want to be a living example for other people. I want to be a person that I want you to watch my life. I mean, that's pretty killer right there. I want you to look at me. I want you to watch me. And I want you to, Paul said it like this. He said, hey, follow me as I follow Christ. So here's Jonathan saying to the youth, me saying to the church, guys, look at my life. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to follow Christ, and I'm going to try to set a pathway, an example for you. It's like when you go, I had the example, let's say we want to go hiking on some trail. We find a person who does that for a living. They lead, hikes on these treacherous places. We always trust their judgment and their direction because they've been there before us, and we can follow them and know that we're going to be all right. Our lives as mature Christians should be that way too, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think responsibility makes us better believers, or better followers of Christ.
That's good.
Because there's more riding on, I think, as a youth pastor, the amount of integrity in my life. Yeah, I have to have integrity in my life. I've got young people that are watching me, so it makes me pay close attention to how I'm living, to the words that I say, to the things that I do, and I think that should apply for everybody. If there are people looking at us and their walk with Christ is depending upon us, wow, I better watch what I'm doing. Amen. Because that makes me a better follower of Christ.
Amen. I looked up while you're talking. It's also in Hebrews chapter 12. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, why don't we go ahead and lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. So the realization is that as believers, Paul expected the Hebrew church, for example, to lead an example lifestyle. And that's a sign of maturity. Could people, let me ask you this question today, church. Could people look at your life and follow you and live like you and be in good shape? Or would you go, no, I don't want anybody following me. So you say, I'm not a pastor. No, we're all supposed to be living examples, not just pastors. I get so tired of that idea that it's just for the preacher. It's just for the guy at church. It's for everybody. And so the question really we turn to today is, are you a person who is taking responsibility for others, even to the point where you would say, hey, watch my life. Watch me. Watch what I'm doing, because I'm going to give you an example. This is how you love somebody. This is how you forgive somebody. This is how you pray for somebody. This is how you avoid temptation. This is how you battle the enemy. I mean, we should be there, and spiritual maturity becomes that person. Is that right? You think that's fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. And I was talking to somebody recently, and I said, one step in really, 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 really growing up is getting married. You don't really realize how selfish a person. I never thought I was a selfish person, but then you get married, and then you realize, gosh, I'm pretty selfish. And you realize a lot of ways that you've got to really grow up.
Amen.
And the next thing in that is, then at that point, you're like, oh gosh, I'm becoming more selfless. And then you have kids, and then you realize, whoa, how really, how much patience you don't have, and really a lot more maturity that needs to take place in your life. And I think the more people that are dependent on you, it makes you more responsible. It makes you more, it makes you more mature. And I think that applies spiritually as well.
Amen. Josh said, he said, it seemed like the growing theme of this little series this week is stop focusing on yourself. And, I've always felt like, if we are self-centered, then we can't really do what God wants ever.
And that's counterculture completely.
In fact, let me read the rest of this passage, because I didn't read it all. I stopped short. So it says, looking unto the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of God. He did that for us. There is no reason why Jesus would go to a cross except for me and you.
Yeah.
So it sounds silly to call Jesus spiritually mature, but to be like Christ, to mature, to be like Christ is to lay down yourself for other people. Now that's just too much, right? That's asking too much, right?
That's asking a lot, but
you ever done that? I mean, the reality of it is that we are called. I remember one time I was headed to Russia, and my kids were small. There was a place there at the airport where you could stand and look and watch airplanes take off, and I ended up being seated on the right side of the plane. So as the plane took off, I was looking, and I was just particularly one of those days I was having a hard time leaving my family. It was tough, and this is not a brag, by the way. This is just being transparent. And I just wanted to get off the plane. I'm not going to lie. I mean, my heart said, I just want to get off the plane. I just want to stay home. Because I knew that I'm going to other places to preach the gospel and love on people that don't know Jesus or just need encouragement. And I could lose my life and I could never see them again. And I understood right then, the power of giving leads to sacrifice. It does. If you're going to give for other people, then you can't include. I can't be a great world missionary and stay home. I can't be a great evangelist and not tell people about Jesus. It's funny how people want all these gifts, and now what they want is they want the gifts that keep them in the church. I want to be an apostle, where I just get to stay in the church all the time. Right. Where Christianity and maturity leads to personal sacrifice. See what people are saying. You got something else you want to share before we go?
I mean, I just I thought about something that somebody said at prayer or corporate prayer Monday night. They said that. They really feel like God has brought them to a place where they are ready, spiritually ready to minister to other people and not always just seeking ministry for themselves. And how much that in giving of who they were, how much they received from that.
Praise God.
And so I think that's a sign of somebody that's maturing and understanding that they don't have to be poured into to receive, but really when we pour out and we give and we're like you said, like Christ pouring out our life, that we take hold of a joy that we just couldn't receive otherwise.
Well, I think for a lot of people, better to give than to receive is a mystery. They don't understand that. What do you mean? They think it always means money?
Yeah.
It's better to give money than to get money, and that doesn't make any sense to people. Although it's true to be a blessing. Yeah. So maturity ultimately ends up the week being a giver. And I wanted to shout out to Liana Filimonov. She's in Latvia. Привет. It's good to see you on here. And so many friends. You guys are awesome. Jonathan, thanks for being on the show again today.
It's good to be on the show again today.
It's like to have you here. We'd like to have you on the show.
We'll try to do it next week. No promises, but a lot heading up for our getaway for our retreat.
We're probably not even going to see each other next week.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to be gone.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
You're gone. I'm gone. We're all
I'll be
gone.
doing my show from Charlotte.
We gone.
I got a new kit to take on the road. I'm pretty excited.
Cool.
Okay, babies. Love y'all. Have a great day. The Vital Axiom is finished for this week.
Bye-bye.
And this show is gone. It's over. It's Deep 6. It's out of here. Number 953 is Fine. Have a blessed week, you guys. We do really love y'all. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-boom. Have a great day, guys. Preached my first sermon this Sunday. Go for it, bro. That's awesome. Great day, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for all the love and all the comments. You guys are the bomb.com. Teamwork. Shooby-doo. Hey, and I just want to say one thing. I just want to make sure I say this. Thanks for watching the show. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. You're so awesome.